Yo, what is going on, everybody? I am really excited to be here with you. I have not been on this Facebook Live since the new platform, so I am figuring it out as we go, and that's one of the beauties of life. So, as we are gathering, getting here, I want you to know I am Dr. Aquila Faye, AQUILLAFAYE. And the topic is, what do you do, right? How do you know? How should you feel? What should you think? When the feeling is no feeling, like no feeling at all. And the reason that this topic came to my mind is because oftentimes people think that not having a feeling means that there is definitely some type of psychological issue. Everybody want to be a psychologist. Everybody want to be a therapist. Everybody wants to be a counselor because now the world allows everyone to say exactly what they think and how they feel, which is great. However, as a transformation expert, as a cognitive curator, as a teacher, as someone in the community who works with a lot of different individuals, as a Reiki master, as a genuine spirit of transformation and healing for others and myself, starting with myself and my family, we got to have some clarity. We got to have a conversation, you guys and ladies. Like, it's so necessary. Okay? I'm going to start by saying I have not been on this platform in a while because the last year and a half or so, and I'm not talking about the pandemic, I'm talking about post pandemic. Okay? Woo! Your favorite woman, your empress, my goodness, was in not one, not two, but three major car accidents that caused me to have to really step back, regain my abilities to move around freely, regain my faculties for flexibility, my faculties with my memory and my speech. And I had to apply my own practice of Reiki to myself, in addition to physical therapy. I'm so grateful for medical professionals. I want to start with that as well. I honor our medical professionals. Science, healing is all part of the divine, manifest in different forms to help in whatever ways we need at different times. I am a huge advocate of natural healing, and I also advocate for using wisdom, meaning when something happens that is outside of your control, where you really need some type of medical attention from a trained medical professional, like a heart specialist, or you need surgery or something like that, and you know for sure there's no other option, I'm not against that. I do not promote that though. And I'm saying that because people are going to say, well, this is how I feel. I feel like that's what we need to do. I feel like that's how we're supposed to be. And you are entitled to that. But on today, I really wanted to break this thing down. So I spent time doing something I called a brain dump earlier. I recommend this for everybody. You take a sheet of paper, I'm going to flash it, and you literally dump everything out of your head and then organize yourself, okay? Because when the feeling is not feeling, there is some, can be a blockage. And on the flip side, what I want us to examine is there's an elevation in who you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So there's two ways we're going to look at this thing of when the feeling is not feeling. First off, let's go ahead and get through some of these myths, okay? Whew, feeling. A feeling is something that is a reactive response to any situation, thought, any type of external or internal stimuli. So that could be you chilling and you think about something from your past. That could be you're driving and all of a sudden somebody's not paying attention. That could be a conflict you're having with a spouse, a child, a loved one, your job, anything. Okay? It could also be the celebration of a new birth, the celebration of a new wedding, the celebration of moving and traveling, winning the lottery. I mean, you might have won $10, but you're still celebrating because you only paid $1 for that ticket. Okay? Those feelings, right? And those feelings come from your emotions. Okay? Your emotions are parts of you that you are able to identify and control. I want to give you the Webster Dictionary definition, though. It's a conscious mental reaction. The affect, so cause and effect, the affect aspect of consciousness. A state of feeling, right? So the major emotions that most of us think about is being super happy, turn up, being really sad, anger, right? And then just like a combination of those and in-betweens, okay? So your emotions are these big areas. And then within like your happiness, there's levels of happiness. There's levels of sadness. There's levels of anger, right? There's levels of joy. Now, on my Facebook page, we were talking, people were sharing their thoughts, their ideas, things of that nature, their feelings towards the question of what is the feeling when there's no feeling, when the feeling is really nothing, like you really feel nothing. So some people brought the word numb, as if, for example, using myself, going through those 3 car wrecks, people would have thought I became numb to just like being reactive and having feelings. Didn't become numb. In addition to those car wrecks, has several loved ones and students transition from this plane, right? To the point I was just like, I am over it. But I was still sad. I still felt deep pain, sadness, sorrow. But I started gaining an acceptance that these are things outside of my control. These are things that if I had a button and I could press rewind or pause, I definitely would. However, we cannot control everything and everyone in the world. Okay? But we can control ourselves and what's immediately around us. Now, some people do become numb after experiencing a lot of things, and that's just like a state of disbelief and lack of acceptance. Follow me. If you don't want to believe the truth of what's happening, you don't want to accept the reality of what's happening, you decide to mentally go into like this little space, this little bubble, and say, I'm just going to pretend none of this is real. And then the more and more things happen, what you do is ignore it, push down your true thoughts and feelings, and possibly explode at any random moment in time because you have cut yourself off from everything in an unhealthy way because you refuse to come to terms with reality, right? Now, in doing that, that numbness can turn into depression because after you explode and you keep pushing, you can pretend outside that there's nothing, but you're like, there's a deep sadness, right? And when you're sad for a long period of time, it changes the chemical composition of your mind, which changes your physiology and how you function, how you perceive things, how you hear things, how you respond. You'll start being more reactive. You'll withdraw, right? And when that happens, anhedonia can occur, where you lose interest in things that you once found interest in. Okay? Like I said, we're going to go ahead and get this psychological part out because that is serious. If these are things that you're experiencing right now, I definitely want you to contact me. Hit me up on my IG, DM me, right? Or shoot a text, 336-926-2914 for a consultation to determine if I would be of service to you. And if not, I will refer you to some of my friends who are able to assist you depending on the level of where you're at with this experience that you're having due to various traumatic experiences and not accepting reality. Okay? So I'm starting off with the feeling being nothing in a negative sense. There is a positive to it, okay? But in the negative sense. So if those things are already happening for you, you've started just isolating yourself, you're having elongated sadness, meaning it's lasted more than a week or so, man. Okay? You've lost interest in things that typically make you happy. Like if you normally love jogging, all of a sudden when you go jog, you like, man, psh. Are you getting angry? Okay, that's serious. All of it's serious. But like in that sense, like we need to do something because the chemical composition of your processing in your body it's exceeded certain levels, and we're gonna have to change up your diet, change up what you're doing. You're gonna have to get into some groups to be able to talk, get some new strategies, all of that. Okay. And then the last one I want to point out that's a negative side so we can get into when is this a positive? Because that's really why I posted this, to talk about the positive. But I noticed that depression became deeper after the pandemic. Anxiety rose for a lot of people. And a lot of people are in a state of lack of acceptance and disconnect from what's really happening. Okay. Alexithymia. Now that's when you can't identify your feelings. You like, am I mad? I don't know. I should be mad. I'm not mad. But I feel tense. So I think that's anger. When I was angry, that's the feeling I had. My shoulder would start hurting. My ears would ring. I would get a little headache, a little migraine or something like that. Stomach get tight. Your voice get high. You know, you knew and like what anger looked like. And you can identify it maybe in others, but in yourself now. Or you're sad, but you're like, am I sad? And you don't even start to ask the question anymore. You just truly don't know how you feel, right? It's like you in these clouds up here, and you're feeling everything, and you're trying to grab, but there's nothing to grab because you have lost the ability to identify within yourself. That is not feeling. All of the things I just discussed, the depression, the anhedonia, the alexithymia, the numbness, that is not examples of not feeling. Those are examples of having a deepened state of extreme sadness, anger, frustration, and lack of acceptance of things that have occurred in your life. Okay? If that is the case, please, please, please. I'm going to suggest if you don't want to talk to somebody, start journaling and reading what you write to yourself. Something's going to start clicking in your spirit. Something is going to click, trust me. And when it clicks, then you'll be ready. Also, you can get a consult with me and we can figure out what your next steps are and find some resources. Okay? So now that we got that addressed, it's addressed. It's there. It's done. Those are like the scientific, psychological facts. Now we're going to dive into this transformation season because you are designed to heal. The body, the mind, the spirit is designed to heal itself. Okay? When you look at the word health, Health, you can break it into two words. Heal, Heal, and thy. TH, we're going to put the Y on there. Thy. Heal thyself. Heal it. Okay? You can heal. Now that takes some work. That takes some strength. That takes some focus. That takes dedication. Okay? It really does. When I went through those 3 car wrecks, the first one, I was grateful to be alive, but I was so angry. When I tell you angry, you guys, anyone who has ever met me, any of you that have met me, talked to me, my son, you know, like it take a lot for me. I really don't get angry. Like I don't put enough concern into things to get like actually angry. You know what I'm saying? But that made me angry because I almost lost my life. Okay, like literally, my car had $15,000 worth of damage. Like the whole front end was smashed in. And I was unable to walk, lay down, or sit without crying or being in excruciating pain for almost 3 months. And even after that, I still had to recoup. Right? And I still had to take care of my son by myself. Now, how many of you can relate to being in a scenario where there's not anyone to really assist you? There's not a great deal of help around. They might come in like, you know, every now and then, once a week or something, call and check on you. But that's not the same as washing your clothes, cooking the meal, still caring for your child, caring for yourself and things. You can't really rest how you need to or recuperate. But that's why I'm grateful about knowing these strategies on how to self-heal. and being able to help others do it and or assist others with doing it, right? So that anger, boom, anger came. Then sadness came, right? Then it was like, boom, focus on me. And I felt a sense of selfishness because I'm like, oh my gosh, what about all my clients? What about all the people I'm working with? What about the school that I'm at teaching? What about all these things? They need me, they need me. But I needed me. I truly needed me. If that's something that you can attest to, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that like button. I see some of you. Can we get some likes? Can we get some comments? Let's respond and engage. Can you relate to that? Can I get a 1 if you've ever been in that state where you had to really think through your emotions? You could not afford to be emotional. You couldn't be in your feelings, rather. You couldn't be in your feelings. Thank you for that like. Appreciate you, love. Let's get those going. Share this video, especially if you know that there's people who are like really struggling with identifying their feelings, really not understanding what they can do about their feelings, not understanding how to get through these tragedies and still move forward in life with a state of peace. A state of peace, like true peace, true tranquility, right? And get over those humps. It's the only reason I'm sharing this story, because I want y'all to understand and know that pause is necessary for us. Because being in a whole heightened state of emotion is also placing you in a place where you're not in control. So if you're ignoring and suppressing, you're not in control. Everything around you is controlling these external variables. If internally you upset and bothered, you're still not in control, because now you're letting your feelings and your thoughts about something start to overtake you and dictate how you feel and how you move. So in that situation, we're going through that scenario, right? That took about a year to go through. There were some concussions that happened, so I had to work on speech. I would stutter a lot. I had to really slow down. And I was slowing down in my speech like that, not on purpose. Like, I did it on purpose just now, but when that scenario happened, it wasn't on purpose. And because I'm so healthy, going to the doctors, they were like, oh yeah, you're fine. My flexibility was not where it needed to be. My ability to lift was not where it needed to be for me. And I had to let them know, like, and show them video evidence. And I brought my son with me to therapy before. They'd be like, look, man, I'm coming here because I'm doing what I need to do. And you're thinking like, yay, good. But reality was, I'm not where I am supposed to be. Not where the little scientific chart says, right? So understand how you can shift yourself to where you even exceed what the science says. So with feelings are out of control. They're reactive. Your emotions are conscious, okay? A conscious mental reaction or response. I want you to take your notes and really jot that. Your emotions are a conscious mental response. You are very aware. Your feelings are a belief to something. It's an inclination about something. It's an inference that you're making. It's not necessarily the truth of something. It's not even necessarily the reality of something. Think about this. When somebody says, I feel like you need to apologize to me. That's wonderful. You feel like another person needs to take an action to make you feel better about something that has already transpired. You are entitled to that feeling. If you want to put yourself through that stress and anxiety of thinking you can make this person find value in apologizing for something they see no value in apologizing for, which is now disrupting your entire psyche. Now that same person's like, man, that person didn't apologize to me and they needed to, may start being temperamental and overreacting and responding to others in a way that is counterproductive, because they're not thinking through the process. They're going on their feelings, meaning their beliefs, their thoughts, and their inferences about something instead of the truth of what it is. Right? So that's a whole lot of emotion. Right now, everything I said has been a lot of emotion, but a lot of people have defined those things as not having feelings because they mixed it up with caring. And caring, this, y'all, caring, a lot of us say it means like to love, right? To be engaged, to be involved, right? Let me get a sip of this tea. Hold on a second. There's going to be some real tea for y'all right here. I decided to look up what caring like meant. Because I'm like, I see when we care, people get super passionate, super angry, just super sad sometimes, right? Super nosy. All in your business because I care, but not solution driven, not hearing nothing. Just in their feelings, literally, just in this state of uncontrollable state of existence. Did you know that care actually means, it does mean to feel interest or concern, but it's also to feel trouble or anxiety? Did you know that? That care really means to have trouble or anxiety. So in caring, you're actually increasing your stress levels because you're overly involving yourself in something you cannot control, external variables, right? And we're going to skip to the good stuff. Y'all had enough of that part? Y'all good on that part? We informed? We got it? We got the negative side of not controlling our emotions is, right? We already got through what it's like if, things are too deep. All right, cool. So, the feeling of feeling nothing. When you come to accepting your reality, accepting truth, accepting what's around you, accepting others, respecting others, right? There's a feeling of peace that you gain, or you can use the word tranquility. And tranquility is a state of calmness, a state of stability. Now, some people are going to say, well, that's still a feeling. It's not. Because a feeling is not conscious. A feeling is not within your control. Feelings cause arguments, and then people have to go back and fix a thing. Feelings cause you to be overreactive. We're not talking about that. We're talking about truly being in control of your emotions and your thoughts. Observing, oh, that person over there is sad. You don't have to connect because they sad. You not sad. You happy at that moment, right? So you feel nothing in that situation. You're driving your car. Somebody run a light. They almost cause a wreck. But you were aware and alert, and so was everyone else at each of the intersections and the presiding streets. The pedestrians were paying attention. No one got hurt. It's nothing to get upset about. You still have that peace and tranquility, feeling nothing about the situation. Now, if you choose to pray for that person, you choose to cover yourself or your family extra, you choose to curse that person out. Those are all choices. There should not be an attachment there. This tranquility creates a detachment. A detachment from feeling like you have to control everything. A detachment from even feeling care. That anxiety when we say care. That deep interest when I say care about something outside of your control that you cannot regulate. Right? And the outside view is going to be like, you blocking yourself from me. You need to work on that. You need to care more. You need to invest more. No, you don't need to increase your anxiety about things that are outside of you. You do not need to increase your stress levels regarding how somebody else responded or reacted to something you said when you know for a fact that you had no malice, or that you said what you said and you really meant it, and it wasn't I said what I said. We're not talking about that, but like you literally said what you said, you did what you did, and it was for the betterment of yourself, your family, and the ones that you are in charge of, responsible for. Why are you gonna let somebody mess up your tranquility, your peace? And if you haven't felt tranquility and peace before, right, that's when it feels like nothing. It literally feels like nothing. You're like, whoa, I feel nothing. With a smile, I feel nothing. You're not overly invested in things that you cannot escape. Even the things that aren't going how you want. Maybe you got student debts. I know I done had some student debt. Do not like it, did not like it. But not stressing that to the point of saying, oh, I can't go on vacation with my son. Oh, I better not eat out. Oh, let me eat some rice and some ramen noodles. Grown woman, no. No, I want my rutabaga. I want some turnip greens. I want some salmon. Like, that's what we doing. And that's how we gonna do it. That debt will be alleviated, how it's alleviated and when. Thinking about your life and the way of living. And being at peace with your decisions because you are now in control. Because now you are aware of yourself, right? Connected back to fast forward now, right? With the car wreck that I was telling y'all about. Being immobile, having to work on cognition and speech, right? Now, super good. 1,000% improved. Back to myself and still improving. Back to regular patterns, right? And better, actually. So, you too think about a moment like that in your life. Just for a second. When did it get so challenging? I don't want to say low, just challenging. You might have felt low, right? We look at like, dang, yo, like I ain't had no car. I mean, you have not had a car. That is challenging, especially if you want a place like the South where you have to have transportation. There is not a subway that can get you somewhere in 15, 30 minutes. The bus takes 2 hours. So you need a car or at least money for an Uber or a Lyft, right? And you thinking through your situation. Your body is not cooperating with you how it normally did or used to. And I ain't talking about because you old, because you can fix that. You can exercise, come to one of the classes. You can do things for that. Go jogging, drink more water, right? You'll feel better too doing those things. That will actually release some positive endorphins in your mind and your body. But then you come to a place of acceptance within that journey. You come to a place of realizing the benefits that came from that journey. You learn some lessons. You get some wisdom. And then when other people start reacting to your story, you looking at them like, I'm okay. You have no feeling. So that feeling of not feeling, you guys, I really just wanted to share, it's not a negative thing. Don't let people tell you that's a negative thing, that you're not feeling, that you're not emotionally invested in something that they want you to be a part of. It's dangerous when external people, external environments, external situations, things happening in the world, all of this stuff starts to impact you so greatly that you forget who you are. That you cannot identify your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own desires. That is a dangerous place to be, because that means you are really out of control. And being out of control, yet you're calm, you're not out here hurting people, so you think, is not a great place to be. Anything extreme, we can always point out. We can point out them kids out here doing, craziness in schools and in the streets. We can point out women out here, men out here not being faithful. You can always point out something you think is wrong. But when you look at yourself and you can't even identify your joy, you can't identify your sadness, you can't identify your anger, you can't identify your excitement, you can't identify what brings you peace. You don't want to be there. But when the feeling is just tranquility, that's the goal. That tranquility. That tranquility means you have some balance. That tranquility means that your body is starting to heal itself. And everything that was like a little off kill is starting to get where it needs to get internally, so you can start working the things around you. Right? Make sense? Make sense? Let me read you another definition. Because tranquility brings you freedom. Think about what freedom looks like to you for just a second. Freedom. Freedom is the ability to move without restriction. Another word for freedom is release. Release is to allow to move, to act, and to flow. Holding on to past situations, beating yourself up about what didn't work out in your life. Yeah, you got a divorce. Okay. Whether it was your decision or your spouse's, guess what? It happened. It's done. Accept it. Be at peace. Release it so you can be at peace. A loved one has transitioned physically. I'm saying this because these are things that I have experienced and or people close to me. I've experienced the loss of a child. Well, 3. I've experienced the loss of close family members and friends and students, children. It don't never feel good, but acceptance, releasing it. Let your feelings out in a safe place, in a safe way. Let that sadness out. Let that grief out. Let that anger out. So you can get back to having happiness and joy in your life. You can learn to accept it. Because you can't change it. And being resentful or numb and isolating yourself, that's not going to help you. Accept the things that have happened in your life that made you angry. And then realize what the lesson and the value in it really was. Accept the truth of a thing, not the feeling. Because remember, feelings are not grounded in truth. They are grounded in opinion, in inference, and belief. Fact is, the dog is not at the house. You don't know if it ran away, got hit by a car. It ain't there. Fact is, you sad. You miss little Rufus. Okay, you miss Rufus. He's been with the family for years. Go through that. Then accept. Maybe Rufus might come back, but don't hold on to that. Remember the memories and apply this to anything in your life. Focus on the memories of it. Focus on the experience you had. Decide to focus on the happy parts and then release it so that you can focus on what's currently in front of you, what's happening right now, today. That peace, that tranquility, that freedom. So that then you have room to love you and to love others. When I say love, to really be able to be loyal, to really be able to genuinely connect. Hey, yes. Hey, Mama Carolyn, yes. Accept the changes life brings. Yes, definitely. Y'all are welcome to put them comments, them likes, and make sure you share. And if you're watching this on a replay, please still comment and hit that like button. Let's get these likes up and bring more content, right? Have more conversations, y'all. I have another video on love. You should look that up. About listen, observe, be versatile, and elevate. I'm not going to go into it because you can go back and check that out. But that's love. When you can listen to others, but it starts with listening to you. When you can observe the environment, what's happening, and it doesn't have a permanent impact on you. But it starts with observing yourself. How you think, how you respond. Being versatile. Or the new word, pivot. Being able to switch it up when you need to. Right? And elevate. Constantly doing things to increase the value that you receive in life and that you are giving to others. Right? And that feeling of feeling nothing is like an underline. It's not that 24 hours a day you feel nothing because you're tranquil. It's that you don't have an attachment to the things that are happening, even the happy moments. My son does something great, come out here, make me laugh, give me a hug. Yes, love you. Then the next minute, it might be like, why didn't you wash the dishes? Right? To all the parents, you know what that's like. To all the caregivers, you know what that's like. To anyone who has a pet, you know what that's like. To anyone who has love for something outside themselves, even with yourself. It's moments where you're really happy with yourself and you're very satisfied and you're celebrating you. Then there's moments where you're like, why did I do that? What was I thinking? No, I knew better. What? That doesn't change the fact that you're still at peace. The nothingness is the detachment. so that your body is not creating this illness, this dis-ease. Disease is dis-ease. If you're tranquil, you're at peace, you allow yourself to go through your process and have those releases, then you can find that peace. You can own that peace. That peace will start circulating in your body and healing your body. And it's not just as easy as 1, 2, 3. That's why you got me. And other people out here. If you don't work with me, you need to work with somebody who does Reiki and energy work and counseling. Okay? But I'm here. So anybody who's watching this video right now live, anybody who's watching this in the replay, I want you to reach out. I am providing a consultation at no charge, right? At no charge. It's a 10-15 minute consultation just to see if we're a good fit for each other, to see if we can work together. And I want you to know it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Okay? I see you. Yes, disease is dis-ease, and it creates uneasiness in the body that creates the illness that we feel. That's the statement. And if you're tired of feeling like that, and even if you don't feel like that, or you're like, I keep it to myself, I know what to do, I'm used to feeling angry, I'm used to da-da-da-da, that's just part of being an adult, that's part of being black in America, that's part of being young, that's part of this, part of that. Stop justifying shenanigans, man. Stop justifying bullshit. I'm going to just say it. Stop it. Please. Please. Stop it. Be real. No, you're not supposed to be unhappy. And you're not supposed to be unhealthy. You're not supposed to be suffering. If ain't nobody told you that, I'm telling you now. That is not how you design. That is not living. Okay? That's existing. That's just you here. You here. And that's why I'm gonna do the consult, just to see if we're a good fit, and then to go to next steps. Okay? I'm also gonna be offering specials with the distant Reiki and distant consultations. So you do not have to come to my office space or any of that. Okay? Straight through. If you won't hear, you already got internet. So long as you have a phone, a computer, we can do your Reiki session, your counseling session. So you can DM me on IG at ACQUILLAFAYE. Okay? You can text me 336-926-2914. I get a lot of phone calls, so text me 336-926-2914. Okay? And just put in there like, hey, Reiki session. Or hey, ready to transform. I would like a consultation, however you communicate. And I will respond to you via text, and we will move forward with next steps. You can learn more information on my website, tribetransform.com. It's tribetransform.com. Okay? And on there, you'll find a link to all of my social media so you can learn more about what I do, a little bit more about who I am. And you can find information about people who have worked with me and things they've said and what their experiences are. And actually, if you just click on this channel, however you got your setup, above, below, to the left or the right, there's a video up right now, a brief interview with Miss Sherelle James, who's talking about what it was like getting Reiki with me. It was her first Reiki session. And she didn't tell me a lot of things. Most people don't, because everybody fine, right? Everybody good. Don't nobody need anything. And that's great. That is great. I love to work with you. If you ain't got nothing going on, please definitely text me. For real, for real. I would love that. Because you teach me something, I can teach you something. And we can just do a relaxation session. So relaxing helps your body. So we ain't just talking about your thought. Remember, we're getting out of our feelings, because feelings are uncontrollable. Emotions are conscious reactions. We don't want to be reactive, because that still means external things are controlling us. What? We're not puppets. We're not. Unless you choose to be. I don't choose to be no puppet. And so I want to make sure that as many people who don't want to be a puppet to the external variables in life, People who don't want to be victims of their own thoughts and emotions from the past. People who are ready to say, you know what, I'm not going to let other people influence my happiness, my joy, and my tranquility. I'm going to have real peace that radiates like the sun does over the earth. I'm going to flow in my release like the river empties into the oceans. Right? If that's what you want and that's what you're ready for, you recognize you got some anger and you ready to go ahead and face what's been causing that. You got some sadness, you grieving, and you're really ready to go ahead and get them tears out in a safe place. That's what I'm here for. Don't come to me with no shenanigans. You ain't really trying to elevate yourself. I love you too. You're not really trying to elevate yourself. You're really not trying to do better. You really don't want to change your health. You don't want to change your habits. You want to continue doing unhealthy things, being unhealthy, continue not exercising, eating food that's damaging for you, not balancing it out. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about balancing it out. So yeah, you're not supposed to eat dairy. You wanted some mac and cheese. I need you to go drink a little gallon of water, okay? Straight up. You don't want to exercise. You ain't got time to go to the gym. Okay, well, I'm going to take a walk around the neighborhood or walk around your house for 20 minutes consistently. Get your heart rate up. Okay? You're not flexible, but you don't want to start stretching. Even if your first stretch is this, for real, because you can't move your arm because things happen to people. Then eventually it turns into this. Then eventually you end up moving it forward. Then eventually you end up moving it back. Then before you know, oh my God, you can move your arm all the way up. Because you started with where you at. That's all you could do. That's all you could do. With anything. Everybody can't do everything, okay? But you can always do better for you. And your spirit tells you what you can do. Not your mind. Not the restrictions you put on yourself. So when the feeling is nothing, we at the end, if you just coming in, go back to the beginning. Right? I break down when it's something that you really should be concerned about. But I'd rather focus on this tranquility from releasing to where you really have peace and acceptance of reality in your life. I've had to do it many a times. And I'll be getting back on this platform with you guys' help. So make sure you share this video, get these subscribers up, get these likes up. And I'll be doing more content and posting more content here. Okay? Moving from Facebook and all that, we're going to be here. I love you all. I am Dr. Akilah Faye. Remember, tranquility. That's when the feeling is nothing. When you're tranquil. When you got that real peace. Because feeling nothing is a canvas that allows you to paint. Feeling nothing is a place where you can observe and be aware of yourself. Feeling nothing is true detachment from what you can't control. And yes, I said it again. Because I want it to resonate with you and be a part of you. All right? Go ahead and book your session if you're already ready. You know what I'm saying? Once you shoot your text, I will respond to you. We go ahead and set up your sessions. If you are in the North Carolina area, then I do have live sessions available, classes on meditation and mindfulness. I have classes on body stretching and yoga. I do healing touch massage, and I do Reiki in person along with healing circles for youth and adults. Okay? If you are willing to fly to the North Carolina area, you can still participate in that. And I do offer retreats as well for you as an individual, for your business, and for your school. So, hey, Kavita. Blessings too, baby. So, we can go ahead and get this. It's time for us to shift the world. We are in it is transformation season, okay? I'll go more in depth about some other topics at a different time, but today is about recognizing when the feeling is nothing and when it's healthy versus unhealthy. Because that's really what it is. Because your body can heal itself, but it can't do it if you decide to stay in your dis-ease, perpetrate like you're not in dis-ease, then gain a disease, want empathy for your illness when you're not doing anything to improve yourself because you don't have a willingness. So I love y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Hey, auntie, make sure you hit that like button. Get these likes up. I see several of y'all on here. Make sure you hit that notification button because you're going to start seeing a lot of content coming out. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and share this with at least 3 friends. Let them know. Don't keep the good stuff to yourself. Don't do that. And you're going to get some funny stuff too. But today was about what you really feeling. What you really feeling. Where you really at. What you really trying to do. Hey, I'm silly like you. Hey, give you a little bit of that. Okay? Just a little bit of silliness at the end. I wouldn't be me if I didn't. Okay? I love you. Mwah. Peace, y'all. Now I'm working this platform. We're going to see how this works.